My father gave my college fund to his new wife, so I gave his debt to her too. I was sitting in my apartment eating leftover pizza when my phone rang. It was my dad's new wife, Vanessa, screaming at me through the speaker. She said, "What the hell did you do? Creditors are calling me nonstop saying I owe over $90,000. I took another bite of pizza and calmly responded, "Sounds like a personal problem." She started hyperventilating and demanded I explain myself. I said, "You wanted everything that belonged to my father, right? Well, congratulations. You got it all." Then I hung up. About 10 minutes later, my dad called. He was furious. He said, "You need to fix this right now. Vanessa is having a breakdown." I laughed and said, "Dad, I don't need to fix anything. You created this mess when you emptied my college fund to buy her a diamond necklace and a convertible. Remember that? Because I sure do." Let me rewind to explain how we got here. When I was 12, my parents divorced and my mom passed away 2 years later from cancer. She left me a trust specifically for college. My dad was the trustee until I turned 18. A year before I graduated high school, he married Vanessa, a woman he'd known for exactly 4 months. She was 28 and he was 51. Within 6 months of the wedding, she convinced him that my college fund was family money and should be used for family needs. Those needs included a $50,000 kitchen renovation, a luxury vacation to Bali, and matching designer watches. By the time I turned 18 and tried to access my fund, there was less than $2,000 left. My dad shrugged and said, "You can take out loans like everyone else." Vanessa needed those things. I remember standing in his kitchen, the one my dead mother's money paid for, and feeling something inside me turn to ice. I worked 3 jobs through community college and transferred to a state university on scholarships I earned through pure spite. I graduated with honors in finance and got a job at an investment firm. Meanwhile, my dad's business started failing. He'd made terrible decisions, taken out massive loans, and Vanessa's spending habits never slowed down. He called me constantly asking for money. I always said no. Then last year, he got diagnosed with early-stage dementia. Vanessa immediately filed for power of attorney and took control of all his assets and debts. She thought she was being clever, positioning herself to inherit everything. What she didn't realize was that my dad's business debts were structured in a very specific way. When she signed those power of attorney documents and merged their finances completely, she made herself personally liable for every single dollar he owed. I knew this because I'd been watching and waiting for years. I even anonymously tipped off his biggest creditors about the asset transfer. My dad showed up at my door 2 days after Vanessa's meltdown. He looked confused and scared. He said, "Son, I don't fully understand what's happening, but Vanessa says we're going to lose the house. She says it's your fault." I invited him inside and sat him down. I spoke slowly and clearly. I said, "Dad, when you stole my college fund, you stole the last thing Mom left me. You gave her money to a woman who doesn't even love you. She married you for security, and now that security is gone." His eyes started watering. He said, "I thought Vanessa would take care of me. She promised." I nodded and said, "And Mom promised to take care of my education. You broke that promise for her. Now Vanessa is legally responsible for the $300,000 you owe in business debts. She wanted to be your wife so badly, now she gets to experience the full package." He sat there in stunned silence. Vanessa tried everything to escape the debt. She hired lawyers who told her there was no way out since she'd signed the documents voluntarily and commingled all their finances. She came to my office and actually got on her knees, begging me to help her. She said, "I'll give you back the money from your college fund. I'll sell my jewelry, the car, everything." I looked down at her and said, "That money is gone. It was gone the moment you spent it on things you didn't need. What you're experiencing now is called consequences. My mother worked her entire life to save that money for my future. You spent it in 6 months on vanity. I worked 80-hour weeks to put myself through school while you posted vacation photos from resorts I paid for. So no, I won't help you. And I want you to remember this moment every single time a creditor calls." She left my office sobbing. I felt nothing. My dad is in a memory care facility now, paid for by Medicaid since Vanessa declared bankruptcy and couldn't afford his care. She lost the house, the car, and every piece of jewelry my mother's money bought. Some relatives called me heartless, but the ones who knew the truth sent me messages of support. My uncle told me my mom would be proud of how I turned out despite everything. I think about her every day, especially when I look at my finance degree hanging on the wall, the one I earned without a single dollar from the fund she left me.